Mm.
It's funny. My parents sometimes they send me photos of things, in a message or whatnot, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, how about this?" And it was a picture of a jar of maraschino cherries, but they were spicy maraschino cherries.
What was used to spice them?
I think just cinnamon because
Oh,
they're not like spicy. I was expecting like wow, kind of spicy.
yeah.
Um, but they sent me a photo. I did like a thumb up thing, and so they sent a jar to me in the mail,
Oh,
and
oh,
so
that's so nice.
very nice, and they're quite good. They're almost kind of like Fireball whiskey cherries in a way. They got
Oh
that cinnamony
man.
flavor, so it actually tastes pretty good.
Well, it's trendy now to put, but like everyone's putting jalapenos in like the sweetest cocktail.
Everything's spicy. Everything's spicy
Yeah,
nowadays. We're
yeah,
spice fiends. Do you like spicy food?
yeah. I love spicy food.
Yeah.
For a while, I had the bulk of my diet was a lot of Korean food.
Mmm.
Um, so I think that's what helped me adapt to. Now I can't eat anything that's not spicy.
Oh, interesting.
Now I can't I put sriracha on everything, or like paprika, or like
mm,
crushed red pepper.
yeah,
There's no way I could now I can't eat something that's not spicy.
that's fair. It would
Uh,
just be bland, just like
yeah,
dinner.
exactly.
Yeah,
Now I've just evolved.
yeah.
Uh,
You've just evolved to a higher plane of existence.
Taste buds wise, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we have people who love like spicy things. We just got like stronger taste buds, you know? They're like better than yours.
We just have stronger souls, essentially.
I think it comes down to that, really. Just as people, I think we're just superior.
No, I
Oh,
know.
no, no.
We're like we can really take a hit.
We can take a punch for sure. So, since this is a video and I have to be professional and, follow a certain order of things, this, everyone, is Lily Kaufman. And she played. Oh, I gotta pick up
No,
something else.
love the drink.
Now I gotta hold up this.
Oh yes.
Yeah. She played saxophone on Pictures at an Inhibition. Not the whole thing, not the whole entire album, but
Yeah.
on the track Living Someone Else's Dream,
So
which
cool.
which rocks. It really rocks that track. And
Everyone should buy David's record.
oh, thank you, Lily. I also agree with that assessment. Uh, I'm a fan of it. I like it, and I'm not I'm not one of those people who just like everything that they do, you know, because you might think, well, of course he likes it, blah blah blah. No, it's like I can tell like this is solid. This is good quality stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you can get over 20 people on board, yo, like you can't just be a great person. although, although you are.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, so kind. Gosh. But I think it's also the reason I'm able to say with such conviction that it is a good album is because so many other people are involved and so many fantastic instrumentalists and singers,
Yeah,
such as yourself, were involved. And it's easier to be positive and feely goody about other people's work on what you do. So yes, go
for
get
sure.
it. Go get it when it comes out, and when it comes to the Borders bookstore and CD place near you, you gotta rush out and pick it up. I guess I don't know
What's that date? What's that date again?
the date of the album. Oh, thank you for reminding me. The date of release is April 30th, which is
Oh,
coming.
good lord.
It's coming up real quick. I know.
That's
Friggin'.
oh, excuse me. That's that is heckin'
Flippin'
three,
heckin'.
3 days away.
3 days away from when we're filming this. I think I'll be uploading this video the day before it drops.
Is this
So
the is this the last interview then?
it is. You are the
Oh,
last
good lord.
interview.
I'm so sorry.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah.
Um,
Damn. There it is. That's such good artwork.
whenever there's a silence, I'll just hold it up. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh,
artwork
nice.
by my friend Adam who did a very
Adam
good job on it. Adam who?
who?
Adam who? Who?
Adam who?
Yes,
Who did a good job?
exactly,
Who?
precisely. Yeah. So Lily, what are you up to? What do you do?
What am I up to right now
Well,
here
not
in this
immediate.
quarantine time?
Yes, not. I didn't mean like immediately, like not like, oh, I'm giving an interview right now. Like that's not. But like, yes, in this time currently, yeah. What are you up to?
What am I up to? Hmm. I'm transcribing a lot of Lester Young,
Hmm.
who I'm really embarrassed that I never really listened to in earnest up until now.
I don't know if
Um,
I'm familiar with Lester Young. Is he like a jazzy
yeah, he's a saxophone player,
saxophone player? Gotcha.
prolific tenor player.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of that. I'm also like exploring a lot of my family history and a
Hmm.
lot of the family history that I never learned from my parents because they're too traumatized to talk about it.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, my parents are is this too deep to discuss?
You can whatever you feel comfortable discussing. I can go with you.
Yeah, I've been researching a lot about communist Romania, which is where my family is
Oh
from.
wow.
And I've been doing that for the last few years because it was the inspiration for this EP that I recorded a couple years ago in Montreal
Oh,
about
that's right.
like Eastern European Romanian folk music
Hmm.
and a lot of klezmer music influence. And I just haven't really stopped. And it's like I've just been filling in the gaps of the family history that I never learned about.
That's
That's what I've been
cool.
doing in kind of my free time, honestly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. So how are you going about that research? Is it like genealogy websites?
Oh no, it's not. No, nothing like that.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
know I'm full blood Romanian.
Hmm.
So it's just a matter of me putting together pieces of what my parents would say to each other, and the parent I'm still in contact with
Hmm.
telling me, just filling in the blanks of my
Gotcha.
family coming in here in 1981. Um, when Romania had issued this food rationing policy.
Hmm.
And my mother and her family were like, yeah, that
Screw.
I
Yeah.
can't do that either, can I? And we should probably come to America now because we need to eat.
Yeah. Food. Food is a big one, I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That's what I've been up to, and working and
Hmm.
grant writing for some arts organizations in the city.
Hmm.
Um, for my own work, and yeah, to be honest, in the midst of this crisis, I've actually felt oddly, currently anyway, for the
Hmm.
last few weeks, pretty at peace,
Nice.
and just trying to find it anywhere I can because that's really important. Otherwise, you just won't survive.
You got to find it somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and just
totally.
then you're able to better take the hits as they come.
Hmm. And of
Yeah,
course, since we like spicy food, we're already kind of tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah, yeah. And I did get COVID about a couple months ago. Um,
Oh, okay.
and I had it for a couple of weeks, and it was awful.
Yeah, I hear bad things about it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
How do people not say what's on their mind? I don't know. I never understood that.
I think fear has something to do with it.
I mean, I'm fearful every second, but yet it just
And yet,
comes out. I don't know. You just gotta. You just can't not tell the truth
totally. Totally.
because it helps everyone to just be honest. It
Mm.
helps you. It helps the offender.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. I enjoy, I think one of the reasons we get along so well is I think we're both pretty honest people. Um,
Yeah.
Certainly something that I value a lot in my own relationships and in how I kind of interact with others. And sometimes you get in a little bit of trouble for saying
Yeah.
what the situation is. Um, but I never have any. very rarely, I should say, very rarely have any regrets about, you know, saying what I've said, because it's like, oh, I can stand by it just because that's how I feel and that's the situation that we're in, you know. And I'm not just gonna not talk about it or pretend it's not there, you know. So I feel you on that one. I feel you on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And truth comes from intuition. Okay. And
Mm.
very rarely is your intuition wrong. So if your intuition tells you in that moment to speak up, you have two choices: you can ignore your intuition or you can follow your intuition.
Yeah.
And especially in music, artistry, whatever, you can choose to ignore the truth or you can tell the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. And people can tell the difference. It's just my personal opinion. But
Totally. Totally. You can spot
yeah.
phoniness in art pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah. You're very blunt too.
I am pretty
Yeah.
blunt. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to exercise, like I do some yoga and stuff, but I don't
Mm.
like jogging or running because I think it's overrated and you shouldn't jog or run unless you're running away from something.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been saying this the whole time. The whole
Like a
time.
lion.
Yeah, like if there's someone coming after me with a knife, yeah, I'll start sprinting. But like,
Right.
what? There's no other reason.
Go
Like
on a
a
walk.
medal?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess also too, like I have in pandemic times, I have plenty of time,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't care really how quickly I get somewhere. I'll just
Yeah.
get there, you know, and I'll get there comfortably with fewer sweat stains if I just walk, you know? And there's no reason for me to run anywhere. Also, I don't have, in order to like convincingly run or jog, especially in like a large metropolitan area like New York City,
Yeah.
you need to have the outfit. You need to have the appropriate shorts. You have to have the appropriate shoes. You got to have like a breathable top, because otherwise, just a guy running down the street, that's gonna raise some eyebrows. We live in neighborhoods where I don't think you can do that. Just can't start sprinting for no reason, you know.
I mean, I wouldn't think twice if I saw some, you sprinting past me and I didn't know you. I would just think he's going on a nice jog.
In jeans.
Oh, then I would think that maybe he's running from an ex-girlfriend or
That's
something.
that's what I'm saying. All of my clothes, if I were to run in them, it wouldn't look right. It wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's why I don't run. Those are the reasons that I give.
because you don't want to look
I
suspicious.
don't want to look
You
suspicious.
don't have the attire.
I don't have the attire. I don't want to get cramps.
Yeah.
I don't want to do exercises too hard on my joints. You know, that's another thing too you got to think about.
Yeah.
You know, your knees are just getting compressed all the time. Like, no, I care about my
I mean, if
knees.
they're not good now, they might not be, you know.
Well, sure. I think they're good now, but that's why I want to protect them. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like my knees are in a good place. I don't want to speed up their demise by asking too much of them. You know,
There.
I did a couple days ago. I exercised, and it it
God.
was it was spurred on by me. So my roommate Liz
Yeah.
wanted to do some. So we have some planters on our fire escape, and she wanted to plant some herbs and a little bit of lettuce in them. And so she got these things, and she got a big bag of soil. And so, you know, I went out to her car, and there was the big bag of soil. I was like, I can carry the big bag of soil. No problem. I don't want to have someone else carry this big bag of soil. So I carried the big bag of soil. It was about 60 pounds of soil. And I had never, okay, I was about to say I'd never carried anything that heavy. I have carried things that heavy, but it had been a long time. A
Yeah.
long time. And so I bring it, you know, I walk from the car, go to the building, and then I walk up the stairs of our apartment and set the bag of soil down. And for the next half an hour, I felt like I was drunk. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I felt so weird and kind of clumsy and out of it. And I realized I was just pumped full of adrenaline from carrying that bag of soil up the stairs, where
Hmm.
like I got sleepy and then I got like weirdly kind of dizzy and almost dropped something. It was bizarre. And so I told my roommates this, and like, maybe you should like practice carrying things. And I was like, that's a thought. And so we have
You
some
can carry
weights.
your grand piano to rehearsals.
Well, I did do that. I did carry that keyboard to
Just like
rehearsals
your
from time to
roommate
time.
who
I
carry
know.
their damn instruments around.
They have to carry them around.
Well,
And
so did you offer because you felt like it was your civic duty to like, no, I must carry the soil,
I think
or
it was
like,
I think it was part of that where it's like, well,
yeah,
I'm the gentleman here. I should carry the heavy thing.
yeah,
But I think it was also just to prove to myself that I could still carry heavy things.
yeah.
And the answer is yes, I can carry heavy things, but then there's a downside. There are side effects to me carrying heavy things.
Mm,
So the next day, I used some of the weights we have in our apartment and like did some bicep curls.
yeah.
And I did something where the tendons here, they don't want to go all the way. I overexerted that joint.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
so maybe that's why joints are on my mind. But it's like, yeah, I can't quite straighten this arm all the way out. Um,
Oh.
so so that's a lesson to anyone out there. Don't don't start exercising.
Yeah. Exercise less and
Yeah,
drink more. Mm,
that's right.
eat more.
That's what I've
You
learned
know.
during quarantine. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's good to know. It's good. It's a good note to just move slower generally,
Mm,
like within even tasks also. Just do it slower.
yeah,
And if you can feel that way in New York City, like you're golden.
yeah,
It's
for sure.
just don't ever rush, you know?
Yeah, it's
That's another
tempting.
big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, it's like artificiality too. It's like you can spot it if something's been kind of pushed through or rushed. It's like, no, just take
Yeah.
your time. Take your time on that. Yeah. So here's a question, and partly for my own edification, but maybe for people watching. What is the secret to writing a great grant? How do you get the money? What's the surefire way to get all your grant applications a big thumb up from people?
Well, well, it's important to have a good mission statement.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
it's important that where you're coming from is a place of truth, like we discussed,
Mm-hmm.
and genuine desire to make change,
Mm.
you know? And it comes, I think it comes from a lot of experience, personal experience as far as injustice and social injustice, and being able to have a lot of empathy um, and reflection of the things that are wrong that should try to make them right, you know.
Sure.
Is, you know, that thus all art is propaganda, right?
Mm.
And so if it's coming from a good place, now, you know, granted, no pun intended,
Granted. Oh my goodness.
no
Lily.
pun intended,
I don't
granted,
know.
is it also takes, you know what it really takes, David?
What
It
does it
takes a
really take?
lot of utmost colossal failure
Mm.
over and over and over and over again for
Mm.
decades.
Oh, decades?
Yeah, it takes a lot of failed attempts
Wow.
to finally get that one
Mm.
pivotal moment.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the yin and yang of life. Is you can't expect No, I don't want to say restitution. It doesn't. It does, it's not. You can't expect to have any success unless you've done some long trial and error to see what works and what doesn't.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I mean, there's a lot of people without the intention of social justice,
Hmm.
people who've never experienced it, and they do just fine. But you know, I don't know. I think it goes along with what's the objective of life.
Oh, oh gosh.
How many existential crises have you had to write this grant? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, don't
Sleeping.
ask me. I don't know. I've only experienced the failure so far, so don't ask me about a winning grant.
Oh well, you know you've written the organization you work for. You've especially during COVID, you got some pretty big grants.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think writing grants for an organization is, as opposed to writing grants for as an individual.
Mm,
There's a lot more opportunities if you're a 501c3 nonprofit as opposed to as an individual. Um,
gotcha.
and as far as grant compliance is concerned, is even after you've written the grant and
Mm,
you've won the grant, the amount of stuff that goes into compliance and the amount of paperwork that goes into now getting the money after you've
sure.
already gotten it is abs it's more work than writing the grant itself. I swear to
Oh,
God. I don't know.
geez.
It's yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh God. Oh, are you getting a cold?
No, it's allergies.
Oh man.
It's that tingly, itchy kind of thing.
That sucks because I love spring, but I can
Ah,
understand how someone could hate it. Dude,
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan myself. It might be my second favorite season because weather-wise it's lovely and it's also pretty to look at.
yeah.
But my nose and eyes, they don't like it. They're not a fan.
What's your
So,
first favorite?
I mean, come on.
Summer?
No.
Winter?
No.
Fall?
Yes.
The only one.
The only one left. Summer. No, no, no. It's got to be fall.
Why?
It's the best season.
I
What do you
like
mean?
fall is my second favorite, but I
Compared to
like
spring.
spring is my this we are right now in my favorite season.
Gotcha. Well, that's good for you. That's
Yeah.
nice for you. No, fall
It
is
is.
because fall again. Yeah, weather-wise, temperature. Hello. Weather-wise and temperature-wise, this is a great period of time.
Yeah.
And you get that same period of time in the fall, just without all the allergies and blossoming things. So that's
True.
why it's my favorite. In the summer, it gets hot and it gets humid here, and
It
then in the
does.
winter, it gets cold and it snows and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, no. But it's the fall is where it's at.
I like the fall a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So, Lily,
Yes. David.
what are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to?
Mm-hmm. What are you looking forward to? Or what are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to coming out of this with perspective.
Mm.
I'm really I'm 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 really doing my best to just use this time wisely and all the things that I couldn't imagine doing before. I'm really trying to do peacefully, like without all this pressure, without rushing.
Yes, yes.
I'm looking forward to a different, I don't know, man, just like a different phase of life. Because
Mm.
as we can see, the system we had in place before all of this clearly wasn't working to the point where it took a global pandemic for people to finally
Heckin'.
notice that
Mm.
things had to change. I'm really looking forward to change. I'm
It'd be
really
nice.
looking forward to people choosing to look around them, choosing to see the truth instead of just gliding by, doing their best to make sure all the really horrible, rotten
Horse pucky.
just doesn't let it touch them. Because when we can finally acknowledge things, I'm really looking forward to a new way of living, a new way of life. And I'm really, maybe that's naive, but I'm hopeful for it.
Mm.
I feel cautiously optimistic.
Yes, that's the best. That's the best phrase for that. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm looking forward to. And maybe, I don't know, I'm really worried about human connection. I'm really worried about human connection.
Mm.
And I'll even before this pandemic, I was concerned about human communication and how even generations of people who are only about 5 years younger than me is makes a huge difference because their
Totally agree.
childhood had 5 more years of the invention of the cell phone.
Yeah.
And like I get into fights with people because they're mad at me that instead of responding to their text within 2 minutes, I decided the more personable approach and gave them a phone call, maybe two
Ah.
hours later, hour and a half later. And they are so mad at the lack of instant gratification that despite the fact that it's more personable to give someone a
Gosh darn.
phone call, is they're just angry I didn't respond to the text.
Sure. Sure.
I really hope I'm a little concerned about I'm concerned about human connection. And
Mm.
is it just me? Do you experience this?
I I definitely I don't know. I feel like I tend to surround myself, whether consciously or unconsciously, with um, people who aren't in their early 20s. Part of that is just like a lot of the friends I have, I've
Yeah,
gotten to know through school, and there's like a certain, there's just only a certain amount of wiggle room in terms of age and experience that comes with
yeah,
that. And yeah, there are definitely people like, and when I say early 20s, I mean like 20, 21,
yeah,
22,
yeah,
where we will have trouble relating to each other on some pretty kind of fundamental levels, especially technologically is a huge one, where I feel like just because of the childhood that I had at the time that I had it, um, I yeah I like sometimes I just don't have my cell phone nearby,
yeah,
you know, and so then I'll keep it in my room and I'll do stuff out in the common area, or I'll go for a walk or something and not bring it and be like, oh, whatever. Then I'll come back, and I don't think I've ever had the experience where people have gotten angry at me for my slow response time. I think either that's something they're aware of, or it's just that they have kind of similar values when it comes to that sort of thing as I do, and so
yeah.
it doesn't really matter for them so much. But yeah, it's a whole other generation. I mean, it really
It
is
really
a
is.
generation gap there. Um, yeah. Lily Kaufman, it has been
Yes,
a pleasure talking to you
it's
this
been a
evening.
pleasure. Thank you, David.
Yes. If
Thanks
you
for letting me be a part of your album.
Oh,
Everyone
absolutely.
should buy David's album.
Here it is. Pictures at an
David's
inhibition.
so sweet.
Oh, thank you. Thank
He
you.
has 20 something people to prove it.
That's something. That's something.
It's pretty
And if
cool.
you'd like to hear some more of Lily Kaufman, there will be links below, and
All
you can
right.
listen to her performance on "Living Someone Else's Dream." We're doing.
Man.
It's a very slick professional operation over here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And look at that microphone.
it's pretty. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. I'll hang up now.
Okay. Thank you.